And so, on to the rhythm section.
So, welcome back to the Beast Game Podcast. This is going to be a review for Annabelle Creation. It's directed by David Sandberg. We will talk about him a little bit later. The writer is Gary Dauberman, and it stars Anthony Padilla, Samara Lee, and Miranda Otto. And the synopsis is 12 years after the tragic death of their little girl, a doll maker and his wife welcome a nun and several girls from a shuttered orphanage into their home, soon becoming the target of the doll maker's possessed creation, Annabelle. So, Matt, what did you think of Annabelle?
Love this movie. I would definitely see it again. Good tension, well-timed scares, a plot that I actually liked, and characters I actually cared about. Very good movie. I thoroughly enjoyed myself with it.
All right, Jay, the question I have for you is, this is from the director of Lights Out.
Lights Out, right?
Lights Out.
Yeah, I know.
That you viciously gave a very low score to.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about Annabelle Creation?
He redeemed himself big time. To the point I may give him another chance if he does another one. He did such a good job with this movie that this is probably the best horror movie I've seen this year so far. It was really, really, really good. The pacing was on point. The atmosphere was perfect. The tone was everything. There was nothing really wrong with this movie. I mean, when I take that back, it has its points where it was kind of like, okay, well, why are you doing that? But unfortunately, that's most horror movies. The characters you actually cared about. And I like how they've been doing these movies, the Conjuring series, and everything ties within. Because there were like little things, little Easter eggs in this that referred back to the Conjuring series, which I thought was amazing. So I like how everything fell into place. He actually took his time with this because Lights Out was utter trash to me. But this one, I felt that he took his time because he built up the scares, the tension, the atmosphere. Everything was just built up. It wasn't just like, boom, it's here. You actually felt the tension. You felt the mood. You felt the tone. You felt everything.
And there wasn't any cheap scares at all either.
No.
At least I didn't think there was.
No, there wasn't. And the thing is, and I mentioned this before, and I'm mentioning it probably again in another podcast, imagination. Imagination. Your imagination is your worst enemy when it comes to horror movies. Even though you saw what it was, but the tension that he created, when you didn't see it, you felt like, oh shit, where's he at? Where's it at? Where's it at? No, did it scare me? No. But the tension was there. I was on the edge of my seat.
I have another question because the writer for this also wrote the first Annabelle. How is this compared to the first Annabelle?
I haven't seen the first Annabelle. The only thing I've seen was the Conjuring series. And I only know of the doll based off Conjuring.
Okay.
So I don't have a comparison for it. But one thing I will say is that the movie does stand on its own as far as scares. I was aware of what happens to the doll based off Conjuring, but I don't really have a comparison on this.
I agree with Matt. This movie could stand alone by itself. In all actuality, this should have been the first Annabelle. The actual first movie, Annabelle, was horrible, was piss poor. It was bad. To the point that when this came out, and I don't know if I even want to see this, but I'm a horror fan, so I'm glad that I decided to go see it because this movie is probably what the first Annabelle should have been. To me, this has totally overshadowed the first one. And this movie is so good to me that I will put it up there with Insidious.
Ooh. My next question is, this writer is also going to be responsible for the new It movie. And does this make you more excited about the It movie?
I'm excited for the It movie regardless, but yes, it does make me excited. But you can have a great script and have a horrible director. So you just got to see the end product. Because if this is what it is going to be, with the tension build up and everything like that, it's going to be a good movie. But then if the director doesn't direct it properly, then it'll be a great script with a horrible director, which we have seen plenty of times before.
I would say that the director of the first one, who is John R. Leonetti, came up in another movie this year called Wish Upon.
And what did I give that?
A pretty bad score.
Yeah.
And also The Butterfly Effect 2.
Oh, see.
So, Matt, does this make you more inclined to go see the It movie?
I would have seen the It movie regardless, based off of nostalgia. This doesn't have any impact on me seeing that movie.
All right, so in this whole chain of movies where you have Insidious, which I assume is not necessarily part of the universe, but it ties in somehow. Is that correct?
No.
All
It's
right.
not part of the universe at all, but I can see how you say it ties in is because
James Wan.
James
and-
Wan has something to do with it. Like James Wan and Lee Winnell has something to do with it. So it kind of looks and feels the same because they have kind of signature
directorial
directing style.
styles.
So no, but it's two different series. But the Insidious series to me, and I said this before, James Wan and Lee Winnell are probably the top tier horror directors as of right now. And Conjuring series is very good as well. And Annabelle is just a branch off of the Conjuring series. But like Matt said, this is a standalone. This could be something totally different, but yet they did have Easter eggs for the Conjuring.
All right. So let's get into scores. So Matt, what would you give Annabelle Creation?
I'd give this movie an 8.5. Thoroughly loved this movie. It had good tension, well-timed scares. I believed in the plot. The cinematography was good. I believed it was a strong chapter in the Conjuring series, whether it's a spin-off or a prequel. I don't know quite how you classify it. I really enjoyed it.
Okay. So Jay, what is
Yes.
your score for Annabelle 2, The Creation?
I agree with Matt. I give it an 8.5.
So you're saying this is up there with The Conjuring because you gave The Conjuring an 8.5.
Yes, it is up there with the Conjuring.
This is hard to believe after that first movie.
Hey, Barry, you know how much I hated the first movie. I told you I hated that damn movie. I haven't seen that movie since it came out. This one made up for it. And I am impressed with this director after that bullshit called Lights Out.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. I'm like, you have one half of Lights Out and the other half of Annabelle 1. And if I told you these people were going to come together and make a movie, what would you say to me?
I'll say you're crazy and you're full of shit.
And you would give
And
this
then
movie
this is probably
8.5.
the worst movie ever in creation of horror movies. They redeemed themselves, man. I don't know what happened. Maybe after that bomb of Lights Out, someone had to talk to his ass and was like, look, man, you're better than this. You're better than this. And he represented. He did a good job. Yeah, I would pay to see that movie again. Just to analyze it a little bit more.
All right.
Very good horror film.
So we're just going to end it on that. That's the Beast Game Podcast. You can find more of our podcasts at beastgame.com, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Twitter, and YouTube.